What's up everyone? AJ here on Day Trader Boom or Bust. We've wrapped up another day in the markets and today was all about risk management. I was able to squeeze what I did out of the markets today by managing my trades with strict risk management and to minimize potential loss. So let's jump into the trades and see what I did. So here's today's watch list. I post this every day between 9 and 9:15 a.m. on my Twitter. If you'd like to catch that in the morning, then make sure to give me a follow at AJ Tabayan. So on the primary watch list, I had Lulu, which was trading on earnings, and I had Neo and Baba, both based off of their daily charts, and I also had AAPL as a continuation plan. And on the secondary list, I had Fubo and DraftKings, which were movers yesterday, and I had Mara as crypto continues to be volatile. So as you can see today, I took 8 trades and my win rate is still quite low at 25%, but and that's something I am actively working on. But I think the thing of note and why I was able to manage a green day today was because I managed to keep losses low. And as you can see, all of these red trades are all below my a full 1 hour loss, while the winning trades, although there were only a couple of them, were both over 2R as my profit target is for each and every trade. So let's take a look at the first trade of the day, which was on Neo. So there it is. And let's back this up actually. We did not trade aftermarket, so let's get to the open here. As it normally is, my first trade of the day was on an opening range breakout, generally a 1-minute opening range breakout. So let's take a look at the 1-minute chart, and here you can see that Neo threw a doji candle to start off with, and then it threw this upside down hammer, and it was on a little bit lower volume, but I because it wicked off of this level here and also seemed to reject against previous day close, I went short at the break of the opening price here and the low of the body of the first 1-minute candle. It went immediately in my direction. It actually almost hit my 2R profit target, but unfortunately the opening volatility caught me once again, and it came back and stopped me out. But because this trade had moved such a distance in my direction, I think my original stop loss was above this R1 level, or maybe just below, or just halfway in between the R1 level and opening price. So it moved in my direction, and I didn't move it to break even, but I did move it to the top of the body of this upside down hammer candle. So, which is why I only took, let me see, I can't just clear that out, and on that particular trade I only took 0.6R loss on that particular trade. So the next trade of the day, and one of the things I am going to start sharing from, if you haven't noticed as of yet, from when I show these charts, is the times that I took trades. Just because I think from the times that I took trades, because I think that's important, because I know when I was a new trader, I just felt that I always needed to be trading, and I think sometimes if you can see the amount of time in between trades, then maybe it'll teach you to have a little bit more patience. And I know I've been guilty of over trading, and when I'm doing that, I'm not waiting for setups. I'm just like, rapid fire trading. So anyway, so that was an opening range breakout. You can see that was on the second minute, second candle. I took another Neo trade. Sorry, I might as well stick to that while I'm already here. I did take another Neo trade short, that was right here. And what had happened here was, instead of, because now Neo looked like it was going to be in this particular range here, I wanted to wait for it to break below, some levels here, so it would meet less resistance. And you can see when Neo pushed down here, it had pushed below the moving averages, below VWAP, and also below S1. So it wasn't quite below this bottom of the range here, or actually below this probably would have been the actual bottom of the range. But I did go short here. It stalled here. So maybe in retrospect, I should have waited for there. But I didn't. So unfortunately, it came back and it did end up stopping me out. And that one was only a 0.5 R loss because it had gone in my direction, and I had moved stop loss much closer, but it was still a losing trade. So let's get back, and that trade was at 940, as you can see here. In between those two trades, I did take a trade, and I do take trades at the open in a little bit quicker succession because things are happening quite quick, and I want to take advantage of the opening volatility. So the second trade I took was on Mara, and on Mara, what I saw is it had, you can see that it threw a big wick here to the bottom before moving up quite a bit. And then it threw this upside down hammer here off of 2 days ago close from 2 days ago, and it looked weak, and it had formed a bit of a level here, which was just below R4. And when it pushed below that level, I went short. Now, so as we review this, and in retrospect, because it had opened up strong, at the very least, I shouldn't, that early, I shouldn't have traded against the trend. I know there was this hammer candle on decent volume, but as you can see, it failed to really break below this 20 SMA and came back and stopped me out over here. It did come back down. I would never have hit my my 2R profit target, and then as you can see, it did proceed to go and move up. And I probably should have waited for it to start to trend up before taking a position in this particular stock. So unfortunately, that one was a loss. That one was about a 0.8 or almost a 0.9 R loss. So that was my biggest losing trade of the day, but still below a full 1 R loss. Okay, so next, after those, so those were the first 3 trades of the day, and that trade, as you can see here, was taken at around 9:37. The next trade was on Apple, so let's check out the Apple chart, and let me just move this 5-minute over so that we can see what's going on the 5-minute chart here. Okay, so Apple, and on this, let's take a look at the 5-minute, because at this point I was probably looking at the 5-minute chart. So you can see here that Apple pushed up to start the day, but then immediately came back down and hit this, bounced off this S1 level, moved back up to this here is pre-market high, and as you can see, it pierced above it but failed to hold above there. And when it pushed down, I felt it was there was this R1 level, and I felt that it was weak on that level, so I went short at the break of that level, as you can see right here, and again, I was very, very quick with moving my stop loss. My stop loss was originally above the or at or just above the pre-market high here. As you can see, it never did touch that, but because it had started to move in my direction here, I had moved the stop loss to just to around VWAP over here, and as you can see, it did stop me out. And this is going to happen if you are this aggressive with moving your stop losses. You know, every once in a while you're going to have a situation where if you had not moved your stop loss, it would have continued to run in your direction, and you know, this one most likely would have, well, it most definitely would have been a profitable trade eventually, probably somewhere around here. But I did move it, and you know, it did limit the loss. My loss on that trade was basically 0.3 R, so very small. And you know, I adopted this a little bit more, you know, when I was dealing with really choppy markets in the summer months. And maybe I'll go back to just holding fully, you know, for that 1 hour loss, you know, until I got my, either I took a 1 hour loss or I got my full 2 hour profit target. But for now, you know, for what I feel are relatively, you know, choppy price action, I am going to continue to be pretty aggressive with moving my stop loss. So that's what happened there. My next trade, and this trade, as you can see here, was around 10.55. That particular trade, and then the next trade I took was on, and I exited. I got around 11:15 was the stop, when the stop was hit. So I was in that trade for about 20 minutes, and then the next trade was on BA, and on BA here, let me see. Oh yeah, okay, there we are. Sorry. So on BA moved up aggressively, and it's pushed above this R5 level here, and was on its way to this R6 level. It almost, or just, it wicked off of just below that level, and it definitely seemed to be exhausting a little bit over here. So I was watching this, and I was looking for a potential reversal. I took this trade then off of the 1 minute chart, which we'll zoom into here, and as we where was this trade? It's around 11 something. Okay, so what I saw on the 1 minute chart was, I saw this not quite an upside down hammer, but definitely a long wick off of a high of day here, and then it again threw another top wick. And what I was looking for was, if it broke below the bottom of this green candle, then I was going to go short, and that's what I did, as it threw another candle with a top wick, and it immediately went in my direction, as I felt that this stock was due for a bit of a pullback, and immediately and very quickly, sorry, hit my 2 hour profit target. So that trade went went very well. And something to point out here, you know, as I continue to develop as a trader, I know there was a time where I really wasn't sure what my identity was as a trader, but more and more as I review my strategies, I'm finding that I'm definitely a momentum trader. So the one, you know, the trades that work for me are ones that tend to work out fairly quickly. When, you know, if I have to wait for a length of time in the consolidation area, although some of those trades definitely work, more times than not, you know, my timing is probably off and the momentum is just not there, and I end up losing with those trades. So something that I'm being mindful of, so that in the future I can time my trades a little bit better. After that BA trade, the next trade was back on Neo, and let me just see where it was here. Okay, so let's take a look at the 5-minute chart here. And on the 5-minute chart, you can see that Neo kind of double topped off of high of day here, and then it started to push down, and there was this pretty solid level here which also was VPOP. And what I did was I felt that if it's going to push below that level, and this red candle had pierced below the 20 SMA, I felt that it could have a solid pullback at least to VWAP if it pierced that level, and so I went short. It did come down, but it didn't come all the way to VWAP, unfortunately, and then it came back out and stopped me out. And that there ended up being a 0.3R loss, because once again, my original stop loss was at the top of this big red candle here, but I had moved it when it moved in my direction to, you know, I think, well, obviously around here, where I took much less of a loss than had it been, you know, had I not moved my stop loss. Okay, so the next trade was the last two trades were trades on Apple, and let me just clear those out. So on Apple, you can see, sorry, I wasn't sharing all the times. Oh my goodness, I don't think you saw. I apologize. I'm not going to go back. I apologize if you didn't see the arrows on that. I can't remember. I think I was putting the arrows on the wrong part of the screen there, so you probably didn't see them. Anyways, we're moving right along. Here on Apple, I saw, you know, this is previous day close here, and we originally talked about this trade here that failed, but then Apple pushed down, and I was waiting for it to come back and test this 20 SMA and previous day close. So it did, and when it did, let me just clear this out, and let's maybe zoom in a little bit. Oh, sorry. Let's zoom in a little bit here. So it did come back and test, and it threw this upside down hammer or shooting star doji, and when it broke below that, I went short. I think the only thing that was missing here was higher volume, which would have indicated that it was, you know, a bit of a stronger move. So unfortunately, although it did move in my direction, it did come back and stop me out. And then when it failed to hold there, I waited this time, and I waited because I knew that there was a pretty solid, you know, it had eaten up quite a bunch of ass here at this 155 level, and I felt that if it pushed back below there, that you know, it could really start to sell off. So when it failed to hold above previous day close and it pushed below that level, I went short. This time I did keep my stop loss, you know, above previous day close, and then it, you know, it never came back and tested that, and immediately came shot down and hit my 2R profit target. So this particular trade here was a 0.5R loss, but then this one was actually just a little bit more, 2.1R win. So those were the trades today, and I think that like I said earlier, the theme of the day was managing risk, and because I did that, my losses, my losing trades were much smaller, and my winning trades, you know, were solid and big winners. So as you can see here on the P&L, the overall profit on the day is, I think it's I didn't do the exact calculation, but I think it's about 1.1, maybe just under 1.2R. So a smaller win, but I'll take it. Green is green. You know, my goal this week was just to be consistent. And although, you know, and I was really patient throughout the day, because that last trade on Apple was at 115. I didn't take any more trades after that because I just didn't feel I saw any opportunities. I didn't want to put anything more at risk. And I had taken 8 trades for the day. So Anyways, that is the recap. So hopefully you enjoyed that. Hopefully you maybe pick something up from that. And we will see you tomorrow on tomorrow's trade recap as we close off the week. Thanks so much for tuning in. This is AJ on Day Trader Boomer Bust signing out. Cheers.